Hello class, today we're doing something called silk screen printing and we're going to learn how to make these directional signs, corn this way and maize this way and all kinds of different signs using silk screens like these, or signs where we cut up the screens and create our own signs like that on cardboard. Do you know what silk screen is? Silk is a really thin fabric that you probably already know, made by special caterpillars, and it was invented in China. But it's really, really thin. Let me show you how it looks like. So between the stencil, the plastic part, there is really thin sheer fabric, silk fabric, and I don't know if you can see it. And there are like little microscopic openings inside of it. So it's not open. It's not just a stencil. There's actually a beautiful silk fabric that is really thin inside. And silk screen printing means that we're going to be pushing the colors through the silk screen in order to make this print. So silk printing is a printing technique where a mesh is being used to transfer ink onto a substrate. So we're just going to use a cardboard to make these beautiful directional signs. These are going to be also used for our county fair this year. So we're going to create some beautiful decor for our booth. Let's get started step by step. I'll show you how to do it. This one is a nice and large one. And I already started a little bit so I can show you when I lift it. So this is a little adhesive. It's a little sticky. You're going to put it back down. And we're going to be using sponges like these. And this palette of kind of like a chalky paint. So I am gonna use this black sponge because I'm using the black. And the way to correctly use it is I am gonna drizzle, just a little drizzle, no more than a few drops of water. And then I'm gonna swirl several times, not just once because it's still glassy, until it's not glassy anymore, until there's no more glass. All the moisture and all the paint is gonna be inside of the sponge. I still see glassy, so I keep swirling. You can push it in. And I'm also using gloves, so otherwise my fingers are gonna get all really, really messy. And so I'm gonna have gloves on one hand, and that's the hand you're gonna use for sponging. And now we're gonna sponge that paint onto the sponge, and then we're gonna start pushing down, holding the stencil down with one hand and pushing down with the other hand and kind of rubbing. But be careful not to move your silk screen, because when it moves, the word is gonna be crooked and it's not gonna come out good. So I am pushing it through and swirling at the same time to get that image through. And what I find out is best is always just a few drops of water, reload your sponge in circular motion like this, and that's the same motion you push it through. So hold it down and kind of push down. You can also dab and slightly drag And I'm kind of making these tiny little circles to force that paint through these minuscule tiny little silk screen openings inside of that beautiful thin silk. And be sure that all of the areas are filled in, because when they're not, part of the word will be missing. See, the top of that Y didn't transfer well, so just go back and apply a little more paint at that corner, and there it is. You can change colors, but when you change colors for the next word, please change the sponge and pick the sponge with the color you're gonna use. So I'm gonna use red next. See how glossy it is? It's glistening. So I am gonna keep swirling until there will be not too much gloss anymore left. See, it's much more matte now. So there's not too much more moisture. I am going to do the word right. You see how that moved? So hold it on top and on the bottom at the same time while you're pushing down. And the gloves will help keeping your hands clean. Just don't get the other hand dirty too at the same time. This hand is only used to hold the stencil down. And as you can see, I'm pushing that sponge down like so. Okay, it's working. Maybe a little more water, just a few drops like I showed you. Swirl until is no more moisture on the palette. All of it is in the sponge. Okay, now we're ready to hold the stencil silk screen down. It's not a stencil, actually. It is a silk screen. Stencil would be completely cut out and there would be no fabric or silk in between. You would just be dabbing paint like this and not forcing the paint to go through the silk screen. This is the same method that is being used to be used for a really long time in printing t-shirts. And I have a lesson here that is for a little older grade that actually get to print on a t-shirt. See, using the same method, transferring what we're doing, making our signs onto t-shirts and creating their own designs. So these are really helpful because we already have the silk screen ready made for us, and we can just try the process of the silk screen printing right now. And in older grades, maybe high school or middle school, you'll get to experience the whole silk screening process, which will be starting with designing your own silk screen, which is this. So let's see how it looks like. That looks nice. And we don't have to finish the Harvest Festival. We can just pull this back and we can decorate it with pumpkins. And when you're done with your silk screen, please raise your hand so teacher can put it on a special glossy paper so we can reuse it because it's still sticky. So some of the extensions that we can also do is you can decorate your board maybe with a nice drawing that you can glue on white paper to decorate it instead of a sticker. And maybe for kindergarten, we will have some stickers that we can put on too. But if you're older grade, you can create your own beautiful decorations. Here in this one, I used these little words, and if I have any left, we can also use them. Not sure how many we have left, but that would be also an option for extension and decorating. And then the last part will be to take the stick, and that's our lollipop stick, and then gluing it inside in the middle between the, I'll show you how this was done here with mace and corn this way. As you can see that the cardboard has little indentations. Can you see that there? And all we did was force the stick inside, and then we painted the stick a little bit using these same paints, very little water, and just watercolored the edges too a little bit. And we went around, and you can decorate this one as well. So you can see, you can put a, if you made this one, you can also put a little corn this way. So you can draw a corn, maze this way, you can draw a little maze, or pumpkins this way. You get the idea. And I hope you follow all the rules and your signs come out really nice. If you just need help, please raise your hand. And these are very, very delicate silk screens. So you have to be very delicate, and please follow the instructions as shown. And now is your turn.